Hello, it's Blockchain here coming at you with another technical analysis update. For those of you just tuning in, I'm primarily an Elliott Wave trader using other areas of Confluence and other technical analysis to really complement my price analysis. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the charts. All right, guys. I have been a little absent on the videos, so I'm getting back on the schedule Wednesdays and Friday for this week, and then going forward, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at a minimum, I will be posting videos each week. So I appreciate the patience. Just been a little tied up with a lot of other projects going on, so I do appreciate you guys tuning back in. But if this is the first time tuning in, first of all, welcome. Of course, we're starting off on blockchaintrading.com. Make sure you guys jump on there. Link is below. We can actually join our Discord, $25 a month or $147 a year. Sold out of the masterclass, and actually right here, I'm actually giving away my #1 trading strategy completely free. So make sure you guys jump over there, click on this little button that says get in touch, and I'll actually send you over a free video demonstration of my #1 trading strategy that is consistent, profitable, and reliable. And yes, you can apply it to any market, whether it's crypto or stocks as well. So pretty awesome, if you ask me. But what I want to go and check out, let's go ahead and look at where the market is at the moment from an overall. Pretty much really today a little flat. I was expecting a little bit more of a up move yesterday based upon the news from the stock market, from retail sales being higher than expected. But you know, the crypto market was pretty much flat yesterday, so a little down today so far. And then overall in the news, you know, not a ton. I'm starting to see a few things pop back up from a potential second round on the COVID, but other than that, nothing too crazy. So let's go ahead and jump over into the charts real quick, and I do want to go over something that I was looking at the other day in regards to what the what the overall daily looks like on the CME futures chart. I normally don't chart on the CME futures, and I mean, I'll look at it, but I normally don't look at a huge wide view. But something interesting that I did find, so before, if you guys have seen my videos before, I've just been really making a hard time out of this being an impulsive wave, you know, as it just looks so three wave-ish. I mean, between boom, 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 right there. So I mean, 1, 2, 3. You know, it looks very three wave coming up, and that's what I've been having a hard time with. But just because of right here, either it started, you know, here, and this was, you know, the start. So I mean, right there, that's three waves, or it was. Let's try that again. Or it started right here, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, right here we do have a 5-wave move. So it all came down to really started here. However, on the CME futures chart, it looks pretty hard for it to start here, which means it would have started here from the low, which means that it kicked off with a 5-wave impulsive move, and it looks so much cleaner, the fibs match and everything. So let me go through that real quick with you guys. So what I noticed was, starting here, obviously this would be our wave 1, 2, this whole thing would be our 3, this is our 4th, and then up one more time for a 5th. On a 3rd wave, we need to have 5 waves within the 3, so it'd be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That 3rd wave, you also need to have 5 waves, so we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an extended 5th. I'll change the colors so make it a little bit easier to see. But it looks really, really clean on the CME futures chart. So that's what I wanted to just point out and look at, because just before I had a really hard time, looking at other exchanges to make this a 5-wave impulsive move to get up. But on CME futures, it's actually pretty clean to be overall an impulsive 5-wave structure up. When you pull your fibs, you can see we hit the 1.618 to a T, which is perfect for a third wave. And even on the sideways consolidation here, pretty common for a fourth wave to kind of form a triangular formation. Now, it may not exactly be a triangle. It's not fully symmetrical, but fourth waves are pretty common to have a triangular formation in it, which we definitely can make. Obviously we had that pump and dump there, which I think was going to be the initial intent to try and kick off with another fifth wave. Bear said, nope, shut it down. And, we're still within the range. And I would probably make this overall just a WXY. Something like that, and then for us to kick off potentially and going into a 5-wave. Again, this is the 16-hour, so it's not quite the daily, but wanted to see the wave structure a little bit better. And we are right on the bottom of the bearish control zone, right on the 40 on the RSI. A little bit of a rejection there on that EMA on the CB index. We also don't really have any kind of bullish divergence or anything like that forming, which is commonly what we would normally see in a fourth wave. We would normally see some kind of bullish divergence forming within the fourth wave, but we're not exactly seeing that on the 16-hour. Let's flip to the daily real quick. A little bit on the RSI. It was also interesting on the daily. We did get rejected right here on the volume band. We did not jump out of it, so that's a little bit of a bullish sign. Same thing with the CB index. Right at the 5. So not super strong, but we can also look at potential trend lines on the CB index as well. And on the daily, we've really yet to kind of break anything. So we're coming up on decision time ultimately, and then in the near future, I'd say within the next week, we'll have our decision whether we go up to, let's see, that put us right at 11.8 on futures, probably 11.6 on exchanges to get up for a fifth wave. It'd be a pretty big move because we have some pretty heavy resistance from a horizontal standpoint. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Pretty much right where we are now. You can see all right here, right here. Right here, kind of a little bit of indecision this whole entire time, but bouncing back and forth. Even when we get up here to 10.5 was also strong horizontal resistance. You can see right here and right here was support. So we would need to break this with some conviction and some power, and we would need to close, at minimum a 4-hour above it. I'm, more comfortable with obviously 16-12 in the daily to close above the 10.5, and if that happens, then that's gonna be a pretty clear decision. From my standpoint anyway, from what I'm looking at, that we're going up to 11.2, 11.6. And kind of see that standpoint. But I wanted to, just point that out on the CME futures chart, that this whole thing does look very impulsive and it looks very clean for it to be impulsive. Only thing that's a little wonky a little bit is this fourth wave, but, it's a lot of consolidation. Not typical from, I guess not as clean from what I would like to normally see on a fourth wave. And I think that's ultimately what the bulls tried to do here in regards to just make this a simple A, B, C, and then start to take off again right here, just like they did right here for the wave 2. Pretty simple, boom, 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 ABC, consolidation, then bam, took off for 2, or took off from the wave 2, started holding wave 1, and so on and so forth. So pretty interesting to see. Let's look at, the hash ribbons real quick. See what that's saying. Yeah, so the gap is pretty spread. So it'd be interesting to see if this starts to curl up over the next day or so. Let's take a look at some GAN on the daily, and then we'll look at a couple things from a smaller time frame. Just kind of see what kind of wave structures we can see. So, all right, so GAN on the daily. Broke out of the volume rings. We did do it right here as well, but you can see we lost support, fell right back into it. Found support on the inside of the ring. Now we're back outside of it. We have support on the outside of the ring as well as this trend line here. So it'd be interesting to see, from a time perspective, these have actually played out pretty well. Between, this point, we got a reaction up. Right here, we got a reaction down. This guy got a reaction up. This one, reaction down. Sideways consolidation throughout here. So it'll be interesting to see over the next day or two. If we find support, we would need to pump back up on this trend line here. But on the way GAN works is on these crosses here, on these intersections. That's normally where the weak points are. So if we find support just under the trend line, try and ride it up. I can break this trend line on the cross there, or the intersection, and we got an intersection right there as well. Get us up towards that 11.6 mark, which would be the fifth wave from ultimate I would be looking for. Yeah. If not, then we would need to get back inside of this ring here, or if we don't, we can just simply just ride the ring over and just simply to the downside. Either way, it's getting close to decision. So I would say, I hate putting times on stuff, but what is it, the 17th? I would say between tomorrow and the weekly close on Sunday is when we would start to hopefully get a decision. Just because we've been going sideways for quite some time here. So let's see what happens over the next week or so. So let's look at the smaller time frame. Just go ahead and zoom into the 1 hour real quick. And what is interesting from this move down here is that we did kick off with a 5-wave move. So if it starts with 5, it needs to end with 5. I would even say this potentially could be a 5-wave move down for a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here's the 5th. So if this is a 5, we start with 5. Obviously, if it starts with 5, it needs to end with 5. Other battle, I guess, argument, just because this is a pretty big wave 4 from a time perspective, but with rule of alteration between 2 and 4, short wave 2, longer wave 4, it's pretty common to see that. But other battle would be if this were to, be part of a B wave, where this is, potentially your A up, B down, and then a small C. Could be the other argument to where this is the end of something, but the other piece is this ended the move down, and which is kind of the way that I am personally leaning to make this a 3-wave A, B, C right here. and this is the start of something. So we started with 5 waves. We would obviously need to end with 5 waves. So whether we have an ABC structure for a 3 wave, if it is 3 wave, then that's going to be a corrective move where we do a zigzag, something like this here. If it is a zigzag, we'll probably come back up, tag 10-3-ish. Put a little label on that guy. Probably come back, tag around 10-3. Let's see, let's pull a fib on that one. Sloppy fib. Yeah, 1.32. We can go up to 10.5 at the 1.618. So probably that zone right there. If it is a zigzag, that's what we'd be looking for, which is also pretty common for a wave 3 to end. But we would have a 5 wave move up here. And so far, this can be a wave 2. There's nothing validating this to be a wave 2, but it can also be a B wave. So it would be just move on to see, how we kick off. Obviously, if this is the start of something, then it does need to end with a 5 wave structure. If this is either a C wave or a 3 wave or a 3rd wave, and have a 1-2-1-2 to give us that next little pump up to 10-3, 10-5. But it'd be interesting to see the reaction that we get, because we had a very hard rejection right here where we had a strong move up and then instantly just got rejected back down. So right here would be really the kind of decision for what we would need to be at. And before obviously show up here would be the target for the end of the 5th wave, right? So we would either need to have an extended wave within here somewhere if this is the start of our 5th wave up, whether it's an extended 3rd, to get us up past that 10-3, find some support back on top of 10-5, or we come up for a wave 3 and then kind of just bounce around a little bit, consolidate, print some bullish divergence, and then have an extended 5th. So typically what we'll see an extended 5th inside of the 3rd, or just overall an extended 5th when we're trying to get, super bullish, and that would get us up towards, the 10-5. But we would need an extended wave within here to get up to that zone to finish off a wave 5, because we would, need to come up, find support on the 10-3 or the 10.5 range in order to get us up to that 11.6. So all in all, that's what I'm looking for. If this is a, an ABC right here, then, this would be an A wave. We would come up for a B, find some resistance, probably, I would say, maybe around 98. And then we would come back down for a C wave, and just overall, just again, making this more of a complex structure, whether it's a WXY, WXYXZ to continue on. But we would need to end, like, if we are bullish, if we are bearish, then we would need to finish off with a C wave up, and then that would start our impulse down. If this whole move up is corrective. So that's the battle. So that's what we would be looking for. Personally, what I'm looking for to play out. If we are bearish, I would probably expect a pretty strong swing fail in regards to where we pump up really strong, and then just get an immediate rejection and just have a huge wick. And that would just trigger our move back down to the downside. So still a lot of uncertainty going on in the economy, just over on the world with COVID and whatnot. So it seems to be a little bit more skepticism more and more each day. So that can definitely play a role. But in a strong bull market where we're making higher highs, the market will continue to do so unless acted upon from an outside force. So that's potentially, it could be what COVID does here, and just ends this whole rally. We come back down, start looking at the 7.6 range, ultimately to find some support, and see what we look at from there. If we could still have a wave 4 without, if we get below 7,000, then in my opinion that would invalidate it. But we can still have a wave 4 come down to 7,600, and find support, and just making this a overall, this would be an A. I'll draw it for you. This would be your A, B, probably more support around 78, 76, in my opinion here. So get something along these lines where we come back down, but we still can have like an ABC and do something like that there right here, and then kick off again for a wave 5. So that's not completely off the table to still get us up to where we would want to be from a bullish perspective, and hit a wave 5 at the 11.6 mark, to where we would have an ABC where we come back down into the 8K, high 7K range, and then kick off again to get us up to the 11.6. That's not entirely off the table, and that won't end necessarily our bull count, but it is something we'd want to pay attention to, especially as we start to look at this wave structure right here, because I'm expecting at least another 5-wave move up to get us back towards the 10.3, 10.5, and then we would look at that potential rejection there and give us a clear decision, hopefully, after that, depending on the wave structure that forms. So it's what I'm looking for, guys, here in the little bit longer term and short term. So again, guys, if you like my channel, like my content, make sure you guys smash the likes, hit the subscribe button. I hope to see you guys in the Discord, and wherever you're at in the world, have an amazing morning, night, day, evening, and I will catch you guys again on Friday.